Opa, I'm Jack the Greek and welcome back for another episode. Today we're going to cook something special. It's called picanha. Yes, and it's traditional for Brazilians. And in Brazil, they usually cook this on a spit or a rod like this on a barbecue. But today we're going to cook it on the Crossroad Barbecue. And this episode is dedicated to my friend Janelle from Brazil and all his friends that are here in Australia. So here we go. Jack the Greek is going to try something very special straight from Brazil called picanha. Okay, so you might be asking, what is picanha? Well, picanha is beef, and there it is there. And it comes from the back cheek, or the rump, as they call it, of the beef. Right here. And it's on the inside. And if you look, come closely, and you'll see how beautiful and granular and grainy it is. Look at that. Beautiful. And it's got a beautiful layer of fat as well. And what they do in Brazil, they'll slice this up, and we'll slice this up in about a couple of inches thick, each slice, and then they turn it around like that, and it looks like a horseshoe. So it's the first time that Jack the Greek has made picanha, so we're going to give it a go. But we're going to add a bit of spice to it and keep it a bit of a Jack the Greek tradition. And we're going to complement it with some onion, tomato, lemon, oregano, and salt and pepper as well. So let's give it a go. So if you come in close, the challenge is always to cut with the grain, because when you want to slice it after you've cooked it on your rod, like this, because that's how they slice it, the Brazilians, you want to slice it against the grain. So let's give it a go. So we'll go three fingers wide, just about like that. There we go. That's the first slice. Just like that. Look at that, beautiful. It's a beautiful, nice, lean, tender piece of meat. There it is there. That's the first one. And then again, 3 fingers roughly, and we'll cut. Just like that. Beautiful. There we go. Excellent. It's a little bit thicker here, the fat, but the fat has to stay on. See that there? You have to keep that fat on. And that's what it's going to look like when we're finished and we put it on our rod, like a horseshoe, just like that. Here's the last one. We just want to measure it to make sure I'm keeping them all a little bit the same, because we put it on the grill, just like that. That picanha. And what we'll do with these little extra bits, I'll put them on the ends, just that we have here. So there we go. There we go. How beautiful. We've got 7 pieces out of 8. And that's around 2.5 kilos of picanha there. So what we'll do is now salt it and get it ready. So we've got plenty of salt, like that. It will fall off as all the juices are flowing around the meat as it's cooking. So you don't want to keep it spare. You want to put plenty of salt on there, like that. Oh, and we forgot our little bits over here. So let's just put them as well, because we're just going to add them on the ends. And we might have a bit of a nibble while it's cooking, because these little bits here will be cooked a lot quicker than the main bits. So again, turn them over, just like this, and cover the other side. There's not too much to this. It's not going to be a difficult cook. For Jack the Greek, it is the first time cooking picanha. So I'm going to keep an eye on it every 15 or 20 minutes while it's in the Crossroad Barbecue, because I want to make sure that I'm cooking it all evenly and not drying it out, because we want to keep this nice and juicy. So again, we put some pepper, just like that. And of course, we can't forget our rigani, our oregano. And that's a bit of the Greek touch that I'm now putting on. We are now at the stages of getting ready our picanha, and we want to push it through the rod, just like that, and keep it in the horseshoe shape, just like that. There we go, there. Beautiful. And we'll grab our next piece, and we'll pass that in as well, just like that. Opa, opa, there we go. It's a bit high for Jack the Greek, but let's, while we're there, put this spike under there to start holding it together. There we go. We put that there, and we push it in like that. So I'm going to use my chair for the rest of them, because Jack the Greek is a little bit short, and it makes it a little bit easier for me to pass it through. So I'll pass it through like that. There we go. Spin it round, and then put it in again like that. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful, just like that. The next piece, oh, there we go. Again, straight through and spin it round. It's a bit of a challenge doing it this way. It's a bit different than doing a Cypriot souvla because the beef is a little bit tougher than your standard lamb would be or your pork for a souvla. But there we go. That's what we're looking to try to create. And I did say I'm going to use the little bits, but I'm not going to put them in. I'm just going to put one at the end, just like that, just so I can nibble it at the end and see how the flavors are. So I'm going to use that little piece to make sure that my salt and pepper and my oregano is just enough for my pagana. There we go, beautiful pagana. It's in. Now, we want to balance it, so we want to keep it even. So we're going to just turn it over now and just push it down a little bit, just like that, to even it up, to make sure that it's in the middle of the grill. And of course, we'll put our spacer on at the end to make sure that it doesn't fall off. So there we are, just there. And of course, coming close now, our Crossray barbecue is ready. It's sitting on about 350 degrees. Oh, that's beautiful heat. And there we go. We'll just put that in like that. So we put it on. Our picanha in our horseshoe shape is on the Crossray barbecue for the first time. And what a menu and what a meal by Jack the Greek. Now, what's left is to press the button, just like this, on our rotisserie, and let it start spinning. We'll put the lid down, and like I said earlier, we're going to leave all 4 burners on high for around about 25 to 30 minutes to make sure that we can get some nice browning on the outside. It's been around 30 minutes now since we've had our beautiful picanha on the Crossray barbecue. It's a beautiful beef, and it's been cooking with all 4 burners on high. I have left the lid open, and as Jack the Greek always says, it's live videoing, it's live cooking. So to give you an update, I had the hood down for 10 minutes. After that, it started getting a little bit too hot for the meat. So I've had the hood up. And I'm going to leave the hood up with all 4 burners on high for the rest of its cooking time. It's got about 20 minutes to go. So I'm going to put a little bit more salt, because I had my little part on the side. The little bit that I had there, it's gone. My daughter and I, just in there, my daughter and I grabbed it and we tasted it, did a bit of a taste test. But you can clearly see that I'm putting a little bit more salt, which means that it didn't have enough salt. But also, all the dripping, all the fat, all the juices, while they're rolling over through the rotisserie, they're also falling off. So we are losing a little bit of salt as well when we're cooking our meal. And they are big chunks of beef, of meat, so you want to make sure that they are marinated very well. So there we go. We'll put a bit of oregano as well, adding the Jack the Greek special touch. Of course, the Brazilians wouldn't put oregano, but Jack the Greek, we can't have a souvla without igani, just like that. There we go. Beautiful, beautiful. So while it's there, I'll leave it there in the background, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to do now. Because we've got about 20 minutes to go, I'm going to quickly cut up our onions and our tomato. Okay, so you're back now with Jack the Greek. It's time to start preparing and plating up our meal. We've got our tomatoes and our onions cooking away, but the next step is to take a beautiful beef off the Crossray barbecue. And this is going to be the big challenge for Jack the Greek. Let's see how we go. So we'll take it off, just like this. And traditionally, the Brazilians would grab it like this, just hold it up like that. Oh, smell that. It smells beautiful. And because earlier, when we're preparing our beautiful picanha, we cut it a particular way, if you remember. We cut it with the grain. So now, the whole intention of doing that is to make it easier when you're actually slicing it off. So what we'll do is, we'll slice a couple of bits, and look at that. Look how beautiful it's just slicing like that. Beautiful. Look at that. Beautiful. And this is how the Brazilians will plate up their picanha. They'll cut it off and just slice it like this. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice and medium rare, cooked all the way through. Look at that. Beautiful. 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 Just like that. So this is how, in Brazil, at any family gathering or party, you'll find them cutting up their picanha, just like that. Beautiful. So we'll cut a few more slices, and then we'll allow the rest of the picanha to go on its own, and we'll take it off and we'll slice it up. There we go. Look at that. Look at that beautiful, beautiful, delicious, soft meat. Just slicing off the Crossroad barbecue souvla, as we call it in Cypriot. Here we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that meat. Look at it just slice off.